Today, 7 science-backed habits that can dial down arthritis flare-ups. Practical things you can start even before bed tonight. You'll hear plain English grounded in real clinical research, with sources mentioned naturally as we go. This is educational content and does not replace your doctor. Imagine you wake up, swing your legs out of bed, and the first step feels like someone snuck glue into your joints overnight. That rusty hinge feeling isn't your imagination. Stiffness is common, and it often melts with the right kind of gentle motion. So the first move is to spread activity across the day in tiny, repeatable windows. Think mobility snacks, 3 to 5 short bouts, 5 to 10 minutes each, sprinkled from morning to evening. An easy walk after breakfast, a handful of sit-to-stands from a sturdy chair mid-afternoon, slow shoulder and hand circles while the kettle boils. The idea is to keep synovial fluid moving, like stirring a pot that's starting to settle, so nutrients reach the cartilage and stiffness doesn't lock in. Public health teams, including the CDC, have long linked regular, tolerable activity with better function and less pain in people with arthritis, even later in life. Start by rating your stiffness before and after each bout. Most people see the numbers drift downward within a week when they keep it gentle and consistent. The common mistake here is doing one heroic, long walk, flaring everything up, and then collapsing on the couch for the rest of the day. Consistency beats heroics. Keep the windows light, leave a little in the tank, and you'll feel safer adding the habit that reinforces all the others: strength. Let's talk about building the muscle that literally shares the load with your joints. 2 to 3 days per week, focus on progressive strength for the areas that matter most: quadriceps and hips to support the knees, calves and glutes to stabilize ankles and hips, a steady core for the spine, and grip for hands and wrists. Go slow on each repetition, 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, with a light to moderate resistance you can control. Aim for somewhat hard, around a 5 to 7 out of 10 on effort. Trials in knee osteoarthritis, summarized by clinical groups like the American College of Rheumatology, consistently associate targeted strengthening with less pain and better mobility when people stick with it for at least 12 weeks. Don't chase soreness. That's not the goal. Log the exercises you choose, the sets and reps you complete, and how the joint feels the next morning. If a move spikes your pain beyond what eases in 24 hours, reduce the load, cut the reps, or try a simpler variant. Strength is like scaffolding. As it goes up, the joint stops wobbling under daily life, and even stairs feel less like a mountain. This is also where your plate starts pulling its quiet weight. Shift your meals toward an anti-inflammatory pattern, and if weight plays a role for you, aim for gradual fat loss. A Mediterranean-leaning approach, colorful vegetables and fruit, legumes and whole grains for fiber, olive oil, nuts and seeds for healthy fats, and fish twice a week, has been described by Harvard Health and the World Health Organization as a pattern linked with calmer inflammation markers and better cardiometabolic health. For knee osteoarthritis in particular, several clinical programs from U.S. academic centers show that losing about 5 to 10% of body weight can lead to meaningful improvements in pain and function. Pairing dietary change with activity does even better than either alone. You don't need perfect meals to move the needle. Try this tweak. Aim for 80% of your meals at home for 2 weeks. Add a large salad and a serving of beans or lentils at lunch. Schedule fish on 2 nights. Swap ultra-processed snacks for a handful of nuts and a piece of fruit. Sip water or unsweetened tea. If restaurant meals are your reality, order the grilled option, double the vegetables, and ask for olive oil and lemon on the side. The most common pitfall is all-or-nothing dieting. Extreme restrictions spark rebounds and can leave you low on energy for movement. Steadiness wins. As the plate steadies the background inflammation, your nighttime routine becomes a multiplier. Sleep isn't just rest. It's an active repair window where the nervous and immune systems talk to each other. When sleep is short, choppy, or irregular, pain sensitivity tends to rise. NIH-supported research has shown that even small sleep losses can amplify next-day pain perception. Stress can push on the same pathways. So build a simple routine you can keep, a consistent wake time, even on weekends, a 30-minute wind down without screens, a darker, slightly cooler bedroom, and a caffeine cutoff 8 hours before bed. Gentle breath work. 4 slow nasal breaths in, 6 out, for a few minutes can settle the system. If worries keep you up, park them by jotting down tomorrow's tasks on a notepad. It's surprising how much that simple act unclenches the mind. Alcohol might knock you out, but fragments sleep and can worsen inflammation, so avoid it near bedtime. Track 3 things for a week: hours slept, how rested you felt on waking, and morning stiffness minutes. Most people see a clear relationship they can act on. On nights you sleep well, use the momentum. On rough nights, soften the next day's plan without quitting it. And when a flare pops up anyway, temperature tools can nudge symptoms in the right direction. Use heat and cold on purpose, not by guesswork. Warmth loosens, cold calms. That's the plain language rule of thumb, echoed by mainstream sources like Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic. In the morning or before activity, moist heat. Think a warm shower directed at stiff areas or a microwaved moist pack often helps joints glide more freely. During a fresh flare with warmth or puffiness you can feel, cold packs can be your friend. They narrow local blood vessels and dull pain. Always place a thin towel between skin and pack. Limit a session to 10 to 15 minutes and check your skin regularly. A very common mistake is icing a cold, stiff joint first thing in the morning and wondering why it feels like concrete. In that scenario, start with warmth, move gently, then consider cold later if an area is hot or swollen. Keep notes. Which joint liked heat? Which time of day made cold more helpful? The clearer you get, the less random it feels. Now we add the habit that unlocks your personal pattern, a 1-minute flare diary. Self-monitoring sounds tedious, but it's surprisingly lightweight when you keep it simple. Each day, write down 4 things: what you did, especially any big spikes like a long car ride or heavy yard work; what you ate that was unusual, like a very salty or ultra-processed meal; how you slept, and your pain from 0 to 10 with stiffness minutes. Many clinicians and patients use this tiny log to spot repeat offenders: sleep debt, weather swings, missed medication, stress peaks, and then make targeted changes. NIH and patient education sources in rheumatology note that self-monitoring supports adherence and better symptom control in chronic conditions, and arthritis is no exception. Review your log every Sunday and circle the patterns. The mistake to avoid is changing 3 things at once. If you can't tell what helped, you can't repeat it. Use the diary to pick your next tiny habit and to bring sharp questions to your appointments, which leads to the safest accelerator of all. Follow a doctor-guided medication plan and know where topical treatments fit. The right medicine, at the right dose and timing, can shorten flares and reduce their intensity with fewer side effects. Guidelines from professional societies like the American College of Rheumatology emphasize individualized plans and often consider topical anti-inflammatory gels for superficial joints like knees and hands, because they deliver medication to the area with less whole-body exposure than many oral options. Your clinician may discuss appropriate use of acetaminophen for certain situations. Caution with oral NSAIDs if you have cardiovascular, kidney, or stomach risks, and when other therapies are warranted. The key is clarity. Confirm exactly when to take what, set phone reminders, keep a 30-day supply so you're never caught short, and know the call the clinic now thresholds, such as a hot red joint with fever or swelling that isn't settling as expected. One mistake to avoid is stopping medication abruptly the moment pain dips, only to see a rebound flare. Another is doubling up on over-the-counter options without realizing they share the same ingredient. If you're ever unsure, bring the bottles and your log to the appointment. A 2-minute review prevents common errors. Let's turn this into action you can follow today without overwhelm. Step 1. For 7 days, write down pain from 0 to 10, morning stiffness minutes, any visible swelling, hours slept, and whether you took your meds as planned. Step 2. Change exactly one habit and make it tiny. Maybe an 8-minute evening walk, a 5-minute hand routine while dinner simmers, or a simple strength plan. 2 sets of sit-to-stands plus wall push-ups 3 times per week. Step 3. At the end of the week, bring the log to your clinician or review it yourself if you're between visits and ask, given this pattern, what's the safest next upgrade? That loop, observe, change one thing, review, beats complicated programs you'll abandon by Thursday. Quick recap so the ideas stick. Short, frequent movement windows keep joints from rusting. Stronger muscles share the load and stabilize alignment. A Mediterranean-leaning plate and, when needed, gradual weight loss quiet the background fire without crash dieting. Protecting sleep and downshifting stress lowers the volume on pain. Heat loosens before you move. Cold calms when an area is hot and puffy. A tiny daily diary turns guesswork into signal. And a clear, doctor-guided medication plan keeps you safe while you experiment. Not every day will be pain-free, but noticing early and acting steadily can add up to more good days with the people you love. If this helped, tell me in the comments what tends to trigger your flares. Weather changes, sleep loss, certain foods, or activity spikes, and what tiny habit you'll start tonight. Share this with someone 50+ who keeps pushing through pain because they think slowing down means giving up. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Simple morning moves that protect knees and hips without special equipment, filmed step by step in real time. Information guides action. Don't stop or start any medication without your clinician's advice.